let's get to the player ratings as quickly as possible. It's not going to be as high as last time. Last time was a bit perfect, but the forward players, I can't blame them at all. So I'm going to start with Ramsdale. Ramsdale, I'm going to give him, I was contemplating giving him a 6, but I'm going to give him a 7. I know the second goal was kind of his error, but the passing today was incredible from him. He actually created a couple of chances. Yes, Ramsdale created a couple of chances for Jesus from his own area, like those long passes. So I think that was good today, and he made a couple of very good saves in the first 5-10 minutes. Fofana almost scored, and Ramsdale did make a great save, and in the second half he made a good save as well. Yes, the second goal is a bit shaky, but he still saved a couple, and his passing today was incredible, man. Like, he created chances, and he's a goalkeeper. So maybe some of you would give him a 6, but I'm going to stick with the 7. I don't have a problem with him a lot. Maybe some people say sometimes he gets bored and wants to come forward. That penalty was not a penalty. That's why it was overturned. So maybe sometimes he needs to be careful about running from his goal and all that, but I can't really blame him a lot. We did concede 2 goals, but I think he was great apart from the second goal, especially his passing and his distribution. Really, really good. So I'm going to give him a 7. I'd understand if you gave him a 6. Next up is Zinchenko. I'm going to give him an 8. Did you see the skill in the second half? The way he just flicked the ball like in between the player's legs. That's, oh my goodness, Zinchenko. What an incredible player. Like, if you had never watched football before, you come today and you watch the Arsenal game, and I ask you which players come from Man City, I'm sure you're going to tell me it's this one. The way he plays, man, the way he plays is absolutely incredible. And defensively, he was okay. I don't think any of the goals were his mistakes. He was creating chances up front. He was getting forward. He was playing almost as a left winger. There's a time he attempted a lobbed pass to Martinelli. He's playing back home, man. He's playing like he's back in the under 6-7s, playing back home with his friends. Crazy. So Zinchenko gets an 8 for today. I think he was our best defender, especially because of him going forward. He was really, really good. The next ones won't be as high as last time. Gabriel, I'm going to give him a 6. We did concede 2 goals, and I don't think there's anything that really stood out for Gabriel like Zinchenko did today. So Gabriel gets a 6. And the second goal came from his side and Zinchenko's side. I'll need to watch that second goal again, but I don't think he was exceptional as he was against Crystal Palace. So Gabriel, I'm going to give him a 6. Saliba, now, before we considered the second goal, I had written Gabriel 7 and Saliba 7 because Saliba still made some very good tackles. I know in the first half he gave away a couple of unnecessary free kicks, and the own goal, I know the own goal is not Saliba's fault, but you have to take that into consideration when you do the player ratings. You can't just give a player 10 when he scores an own goal. So I think Saliba and Gabriel, we did concede 2 goals, so I think we have to be fair. I'm going to give Saliba 6 for today, just like Gabriel. I think that's fair enough. If we didn't concede the second goal, I would have given them a 7 because I don't think we were exposed like that, and I don't think the own goal, like I'm going to say 3 because he scored an own goal. No, the own goal was not his fault, but you have to still take it into consideration because if it's not for the own goal, they wouldn't have scored the first goal. So Saliba gets a 6 for today, same with Gabriel. Next up, Ben White, I'm also going to give him a 6. As I said, not as high as last time for the defenders apart from Zinchenko. That shows you how much Zinchenko stood out. I've given him an 8. So White 6 as well. We might see Tomiyasu starting instead of him next week. I don't have a problem with Ben White starting at right back or centre back. I don't have a problem. But I think Tomiyasu, now that he's fit, we might see that rotation a lot next week. Maybe Tomiyasu starting, playing 45 minutes, and then Ben White coming on. We could see that. We could see a back 5 sometimes. So those are the ratings for the defenders. Ramsdale 7, Zinchenko 8, Gabriel 6, Saliba 6, and White 6. Let me know if you disagree. Next up, midfielders. Granit Xhaka, I'm going to give him an 8. I was so tempted to give him a 9 because that is one of the best games I've ever seen Granit Xhaka playing. Let's be honest. If a player plays well, we give him credit, and I was so close to give him a 9. But we did consider those 2 goals they played, and I also take midfielders into consideration. But in terms of going forward, it was like watching Frank Lampard. It was like watching Iniesta. Like, it's really, really good. He did score that goal as well, opened his account for the season. Didn't get any silly yellow cards like we're used to. And I don't think the likes of Ndidi dominated any of our midfielders. So Granit Xhaka gets an 8 for today. If he keeps on playing like that, there's no need even, if Xhaka was playing like that since the last 2-3 seasons, we'd not even have been talking about Tielemans and Paqueta today. We would have been talking about maybe adding an extra right back or adding an extra winger. We'd not have been talking about midfielders. So hoping Xhaka sticks with the same. He's been really good since we played against I think it was the second half against Orlando City, and then against Chelsea, against Sevilla. Xhaka was really good in all those games. He helped Saka score that goal against Chelsea during pre-season. He helped Jesus score that opening goal against Sevilla as well. And today he got that even against Crystal Palace. That own goal from Gay. It was from Xhaka to Nketiah, and Nketiah to Saka, and then own goal. Xhaka did well for that goal as well. And today he was good as well. So Granit Xhaka gets an 8, one of the best players today. Thomas Partey gets a 7. He hit the post, unlucky not to get the goal. I think Xhaka was better, but with Partey in the midfield as well, you feel a lot more safer than the quality is different. Now listen, when you have El Neni and Lokonga, you can still win the game, but you can tell the difference in quality. The way Partey just chips the ball over to Martinelli, the way he just chips the ball over to Saka, the tackles in the midfield, the way he just passes the ball to Xhaka and moves the ball quick. That's the thing. Partey moves the ball very quick, and I love it. Just doesn't sweep the ball for more than 30 seconds trying to roll around and try to get a pass. No, when he gets the ball right away, either gives it to Xhaka or gives it to Odegaard or gives it to Martinelli, or he has different. You never know what Partey would do. He can just run and shoot the ball. Okay, he'll probably shoot it off target, let's be honest, but you never know what he's going to do. He can shoot it, he can lob the pass, he can pass it to the right side, to the left side. So it's great to have a midfielder who's unpredictable. And without Partey in that team, we'd still struggle, I'm sure. We'd struggle a lot. I wouldn't want Xhaka to play in the Partey role. Like the moment you remove Xhaka from that position on screen and you put him to the Partey position, that's when he starts getting those silly yellow cards and red cards because he doesn't have that space. So Thomas Partey gets a 7 for today. The other players, the other midfielders, the next two players didn't get too high. I think they were a bit quiet today. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to give Odegaard a 6. I think it was one of his quiet games. I mean, he didn't get subbed off, right? He didn't get subbed off, but he was a bit quiet. Didn't really create a lot. I'll need to watch the game a second and third time, but he didn't really create a lot. Like, we are all about Jesus today and Xhaka and Zinchenko and all these guys, Martinelli, and Odegaard was a bit quiet. So not the best start to the season for him. I know he's going to come good, but against Crystal Palace, I think I gave him a 6 or something, and today I've given him a 6 as well. So not the best start for Odegaard. Let's see how he improves in the next games. So Odegaard 6. Same applies to Bukayo Saka. I've given him a 6 as well. I think he was a bit quiet today. It's not the regular Saka. Now, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we don't have to depend on Saka anymore, because every time Saka had a game like this, we would lose because we didn't have any other options. But right now, Martinelli is playing well, Zinchenko, Jesus. We don't even really need Saka to play that well. Like today, Saka and Odegaard, we didn't see them that much, but we still scored 4 goals. That is very, very welcome. So Saka gets a 6 for today. Didn't get on the score sheet, didn't get any assists, and didn't even really create a lot of chances. And a couple of times I felt like he would have crossed the ball early or anything like that. So Saka gets a 6 for today as well. Well, it's going to be different for the next two players for sure. Gabriel Martinelli gets an 8. The way he just tore apart for fun in that first half. The way that second half, that goal, like 3-2, I was very worried. I was like, oh no, man, 3-2. They now have Patson back on the pitch. They can bring in a Jose Perez. Maddison is still on the pitch. They could get a third goal. It would have been a disaster. Like, if we ended up drawing that game, it would have been a disaster because we hit the post like 3 or 4 times. Partey, Xhaka, all of them hitting the post. A couple of chances. Jesus could have had a hat trick. Like, we had a couple of chances to finish off the game, but it would have been a disaster basically if we didn't get that fourth goal. And Martinelli, the confidence of just shooting the ball from outside the box with his left foot without overthinking, really, really good to see. And that's his second goal of the season already. Hoping for more. He did well in preseason, scored goals, assisted. So Martinelli gets an 8 for today. And then the man of the match, probably all of you would agree, I was very tempted to give him a 10. 2 goals and 2 assists, but I've given him a 9. It's usually very hard to give a player a 10. I know he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. If he got a hat-trick, it would have been a definite 10, but the chance he missed in the second half where the ball was crossed or the keeper saved and then it fell to him, I think he should have scored that. Not saying anything bad, but or complaining, no, but he should have got a hat-trick. They could have gotten a 10. But for today, it wasn't flawless, but he was very good. As Ashton said early on, in terms of let me read that comment again. His creativity, his pressing, his running off the ball to pull the defenders all off place. You can actually give him a 10. But I think if you got a hat, you could have given him a 10. But what a performance, man. You cannot fault that performance at all. Right position. That first goal was just incredible. The way he chipped the goalkeeper, man. Absolutely disrespectful. Really, really good to see, man. We have a striker who can run. We have a striker who presses. We have a striker who can create for others. We have a striker who can score different goals with his right foot, with his left foot. He can chip over the goalkeeper. He can score headers. He can score from corners. That is the kind of striker you need. And I'm 100% sure he's going to shine this season. And you've already seen right away. Next up, it's Bournemouth. Next up, it's Fulham. I mean, Nketiah will still get game time, obviously, in the other competitions. It's really hard to leave Gabriel Jesus on the bench for anyone else, not just Nketiah. It's really, really hard. Right now, he's really feeling good about himself, so I think it's only fair to keep on playing him. At Man City, never played 5 games in a row. He never. At Arsenal, he's going to play 5 games in a row. He's going to play 6 games in a row. He's going to feature a lot, so I cannot complain at all. So those are the player ratings for the starting players. Let me go through them again for the ones who are just joining. Ramsdale gets a 7. He made a mistake for the second goal, but his contribution was really good. Zinchenko gets an 8, our best defender today, not just in terms of defending, in terms of going forward, he was just incredible. Gabriel gets a 6. Saliba gets a 6. Not as good as they were against Crystal Palace. White gets a 6. Xhaka gets an 8, one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt. Partey gets a 7. Odegaard gets a 6, Xhaka gets a 6, a bit quiet for the two of them. Martinelli gets an 8, second goal of the season, and Jesus gets a 9. Could have been a 10 because honestly he got 2 goals and 2 assists. Incredible. From the bench players that aren't on for too long, Tomiyasu, I'm just going to give him a 6 because he was actually involved in those 15 minutes. He actually picked up a yellow card, saved a counter attack. They would have maybe scored from that counter attack. So really good to have him back, man. I really hope he can stay fit for at least this time. We don't have to play him every single day, because the time we had to play him every single day, that's when he got injured a lot. Right now, we can just bring him for the next 2 games against Bournemouth and Fulham. Against Bournemouth next week, we can do the same. Start Ben White, 70 minutes gone, bring Tomiyasu for another 20 minutes. Against Fulham, maybe start him for 45 minutes, then bring on another Ben White again, and then from there, then he can start getting chances to start, because the Europa League will be there, the Carabao Cup will be there, and all that. Tierney wasn't on for too long, just around 15 minutes, but he did okay, I guess. I've just given him a 5. Really hope he stays fit as well. Zinchenko is looking really, really good. So having 2 good left backs like that, when was the last time Arsenal had good left backs like that? 2 of them. I can't remember, because there's a time Clichy was okay, but Gibbs was a youngster. There's a time, Andre Santos, my goodness. Andre Santos is one of the worst players to ever play for this club. Let's not even talk about him. Terrible, like all those guys. You had Monreal, who was good, but Andre Santos, who was terrible. You get the point. So one of them is usually good, another one is usually terrible. Tierney is usually good, and then Kolasinac is terrible. Good, bad, good, bad. This time round, we have 2 good left backs, 2 great left backs. So hope he can stay fit as well. Nketiah, I'm going to give him a 6. I think he was actually good when he came on. He almost scored a couple of goals. Then didn't let the defenders rest, like, okay, we are 4-2 ahead, let the game drift away. Nothing like that. He was always involved, and he actually almost got a goal. So I'm going to give him a 6 for today. And then Emil Smith-Rowe, I am going to give him a 5. Really, really good to have him back. Hope he can stay fit. Martinelli is looking really good. Xhaka is looking really good, and those are the positions Smith-Rowe can play. I think he'll feature a lot in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. I don't know how hopefully he doesn't get frustrated, because we still need him to stay. Maybe if he sees Saka playing a lot and Martinelli playing a lot and he's always on the bench, maybe he'd be a bit worried, but I'm not worried about Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe, I'm sure when he starts the game, he'll probably score himself as well. So he gets a 5 for today for those minutes he played. And then finally, Mikel, I've given him an 8. We scored 4 goals. First home game of the season, got the job done. And the reason he's not perfect is because he conceded 2 goals. Really can't blame anyone for the first goal. And I think maybe the subs, we waited too long till the 83rd minute. I know Jesus would have given him 90 minutes for him to get a hat-trick, but Smith-Rowe, maybe for Saka, should have come on earlier. Saka was a bit quiet. And Tomiyasu for Ben White, maybe 10 minutes earlier or something. But hey, I'm okay. Maybe they had planned to get Tomiyasu 20 minutes. That's fine. Maybe Smith-Rowe for Saka should have happened a bit earlier for Smith-Rowe to get a bit of game time. And also Saka was a bit poor. But for today, Arteta gets an 8. Incredible, man. We got another win. That is job done. That is 6 goals scored in the first 2 games. Compare that to last season. Last season, we started with Brentford and Chelsea. We had scored 0 goals in the first 2 games, 0 goals in the first 3 games. This time it's 6 goals in the first 2 games. So how long did it take us to score 6 goals last season? Because I remember the fourth game we scored 1 against Norwich. The 5th game we scored 1 against Burnley, and then we scored twice against Crystal Palace, and then we didn't score a goal against Brighton, if I remember correctly. Those were our first 7 games from last season. So if I'm not wrong, we had to wait until something like October to score 6 goals last season. We've now scored 6 goals in the first 2 games.